The little girl was trying not to cry. That was the first thing Amanda noticed. She sat quietly at the corner table of the grocery store cafe, tiny fingers wrapped around a paper cup of water like it was something precious. Across from her, a man in a faded gray hoodie stirred a bowl of oatmeal with slow exhaustion, his eyes heavy in the way only truly tired people's eyes are. The girl couldn't have been older than 6, and she was pretending to smile. Amanda had seen enough in her 38 years to recognize that kind of smile. The brave kind. The kind children wear when they already know life is harder than it should be. "Daddy," the little girl whispered softly, "I'm full." Amanda glanced down at the untouched half of the oatmeal. The father looked at it too. Then he smiled gently and pushed the bowl back toward himself. "Good," he said. "I was getting pretty hungry anyway." It was such a simple sentence, but something about it hurt to hear, because Amanda knew immediately what had happened. The child had lied so her father could eat, and somehow the man pretended not to notice. Outside, snow drifted past the windows in soft waves, coating the parking lot in white. Inside the cafe, people hurried through their expensive coffees and shopping bags without looking twice at the pair, sitting quietly near the back wall. But Amanda couldn't stop looking. The father's shoes were worn nearly through at the soles. His hoodie sleeves had been stitched by hand in 2 places. The little girl's pink coat was clean but too thin for the weather. And yet, they looked peaceful together. Not miserable. Not bitter. Just tired. Amanda tried to focus on her laptop again, but the image stayed lodged in her chest. Finally, she stood and walked toward them. "Excuse me," she said carefully. "I know this may sound strange, but would you let me buy you both some real lunch?" The father looked up immediately, guarded but polite. "No, thank you," he said gently. "We're okay." Most people would have stopped there, but Amanda noticed the little girl staring at the bakery display behind her, specifically at the cinnamon rolls. "You sure?" Amanda asked softly. "Because those cinnamon rolls look life-changing." The little girl smiled before quickly hiding it. Her father noticed. His face tightened, not with anger but embarrassment. "We appreciate it," he said quietly. "Really, but we're fine." Amanda nodded slowly. She knew pride when she saw it. So instead of pushing, she walked to the counter, bought 2 cinnamon rolls and hot chocolates, then returned pretending she'd made a mistake. "They accidentally gave me extras," she lied easily. "And I hate wasting food." The little girl looked instantly hopeful. The father hesitated. Then his daughter whispered, "Daddy." He swallowed hard before accepting them. "Thank you," he said. The little girl's face lit up like Christmas morning, and somehow that nearly broke Amanda. She returned to her seat, but 20 minutes later, the cafe manager approached the man and folded his arms. "You can't stay here all afternoon if you're not buying anything else." Amanda looked up sharply. The father apologized immediately. "We were just warming up for a bit," he explained. "We'll go." His daughter lowered her eyes, clearly used to this conversation. Something inside Amanda snapped. "Actually," she said firmly, standing, "they're with me." The manager looked uncomfortable. "Ma'am, I didn't mean—" "They're with me," Amanda repeated. The manager muttered an apology and walked away. Silence lingered for a moment. Then the father looked at Amanda with quiet disbelief. "You didn't have to do that." "Yes," she said softly. "I think I did." For the first time, he really looked at her. Not suspiciously, just tired. "My name's Daniel," he said finally. "And this is Ellie." Ellie gave a tiny wave with chocolate on her upper lip. Amanda smiled despite herself. "I'm Amanda." A few minutes later, conversation came easier than expected. Ellie talked about school, books, and how she wanted to become a veterinarian and maybe also an astronaut. Daniel listened to every word like it mattered more than anything else in the world. And Amanda noticed something else, too. Despite their situation, he never complained. Not once. Eventually, Amanda asked the question sitting heavily in her mind. "I hope you don't mind me asking," she said carefully, "but why are you living like this?" The words escaped before she could soften them. Instantly, she regretted it. Daniel looked down at his coffee. Ellie quietly focused on her cinnamon roll. Amanda flushed with guilt. "I'm sorry." "That wasn't my business." But Daniel shook his head. "No," he said quietly. "It's okay." Most people wonder. They just don't ask. He leaned back slowly, exhaustion carved deep into his face. My wife died 2 years ago. Amanda's chest tightened immediately. Cancer, he continued. Fast, aggressive. By the time we found it, there wasn't much doctors could do. Ellie stared silently at the table now. Daniel's voice remained calm but fragile underneath. She was everything. Honestly, she held our whole life together. Amanda didn't speak. When she got sick, the medical bills piled up fast. I sold our house trying to keep up with treatment. Drained savings. Took extra jobs. Didn't matter. He smiled faintly. She kept apologizing while she was dying. Can you imagine that? Apologizing to me. Amanda felt tears sting unexpectedly. After she passed, things just collapsed. He paused. I had a decent construction job, but Ellie started having panic attacks whenever I left her alone too long. She was terrified I wouldn't come back too. Ellie reached for his hand immediately. Daniel squeezed it gently. So I started taking smaller jobs. Flexible ones, less pay but more time with her. Amanda looked around the cafe again. At the worn clothes, the exhaustion, the tiny child trying to act brave. And suddenly, none of it looked like failure anymore. It looked like sacrifice. Still, she asked quietly, "But where are you staying?" Daniel hesitated. Then he answered honestly. "In my truck, mostly. Sometimes shelters when there's room." Amanda's breath caught. Ellie quickly added, "Daddy makes it fun, though." Daniel smiled softly at her. "We do movie nights on my phone, and he lets me pick the music," Ellie added proudly. Amanda had to look away for a second, because suddenly she understood something horrifying. People had probably walked past this man every single day, assuming he was irresponsible, lazy, broken. But sitting here now, Amanda realized she had rarely met anyone stronger. Then Daniel said something she would never forget. "I know how this looks," he said quietly. "But every decision I made was for her. Every single one." Amanda felt something shift inside her chest, a deep, painful kind of shame. Because she had judged him too, even if only for a moment. She saw the worn hoodie before she saw the love. And wasn't that what the world always did? A week later, Amanda couldn't stop thinking about them. She tried. But every night she remembered Ellie pretending to be full so her father could eat. Finally, she made a few phone calls. Amanda owned a small marketing company. She wasn't rich, but she knew people. One of her clients managed apartment properties. Another ran a local charity. Another owed her a favor. Within days, she tracked Daniel down through the grocery cafe. At first, he looked alarmed seeing her again. Then confused. Then speechless. "I found you an apartment," Amanda said carefully. "Temporary at first. Rent covered for 6 months." Daniel immediately shook his head. "I can't accept that." "Yes, you can." "No," he insisted quietly. "People need help more than we do." Amanda stared at him in disbelief. "You're living in a truck." "And we're surviving," he replied. That answer hit harder than anything else had. Because he meant it. He truly believed others deserved help first. Amanda stepped closer. "Daniel, when was the last time someone took care of you?" He didn't answer. And that silence said everything. 3 months later, Daniel had steady work again. Ellie was enrolled in a new school. The apartment walls were covered in her drawings. And for the first time in years, they had a home. Amanda visited one evening carrying groceries. Ellie ran to the door excitedly. "Look," she shouted proudly. "We have a couch now." Daniel laughed from the kitchen. It was different now. Lighter somehow. Still healing, but hopeful. As Amanda prepared to leave that night, she noticed a framed photograph sitting beside the television. It was Daniel, Ellie, and a smiling woman Amanda assumed was his wife. Underneath the frame sat a handwritten note. Amanda glanced at it accidentally. It read, "Love is not measured by what we keep. It's measured by what we give away." Amanda stood there quietly for a long moment. Then Daniel spoke from behind her. "She used to say that all the time." Amanda smiled softly. "She was right." And somehow, in that small apartment filled with secondhand furniture and hard-earned hope, Amanda realized something that changed her forever. Some of the richest people in the world are the ones who have already given everything away for someone they love.